Game of Thrones returned to our screens last week, and I think it's safe to say that it's the most anticipated show to be airing every week. And everybody wants it to come around as soon as possible, but at the same time, they don't, because that means the show will be no more. So it's definitely a conflict in emotions. However, last night, the second episode in the final season was aired, and it was titled A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So I thought I'd take a look at it, see what was good, and see how it compared to the first. So, let's find out. Before I go ahead, make sure you go over to my Twitter, @brainpilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. So without further ado, I'm Brainpilot, and here is a review of Game of Thrones Season 8, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Just to let you know, this is going to contain spoilers, so watch with caution. The episode opens up with Jaime Lannister and Winterfell being put before Daenerys, Jon and Sansa. I love this scene because I believe it shows how the tables have turned from the first few seasons. And as Jaime says, the reason that he's there is beyond loyalty, and it's now all about survival. And I think that this sums it up perfectly. It shows the current state of the show at the moment. The episode is mainly set in the north, and you don't see Cersei once. You see Jaime and his brother reunite, you see Brienne and Jaime reunite, and you also see Bran come face to face with Jaime, the person who pushed him out of the window those many years ago. In all honesty, it has a lot of a feel to the first episode. It's a lot of people who haven't seen each other in a while all coming together again and just gauging their reactions and making a pleasant viewing experience for all of us, seeing the whole cast together on screen. Other than Jaime and Bran, I thought their conversation would have been a little less bland and maybe a bit more interesting. I do feel as though this second episode does highlight the journey that Jaime Lannister has been on very well. Towards the climax of the episode, we see Jon tell Daenerys who he actually is, and her reaction to finding out the news was perfect. She took it exactly in the way that I thought she would. You can tell that although she loves Jon, and in the earlier scene where we see her talking to Sansa, she states how she was the one who was manipulated by Jon through love. It doesn't sound as though she likes the idea of him being the heir to the throne. As she said, that is the only war that she's ever really known. So I'm intrigued to see how she's going to behave now. I feel as though her behaviour towards Jon will definitely change for the worse. This episode is mainly about them preparing for battle, and throughout the majority of the episode they refer to it as being their final few hours. And they were not wrong with that, seeing as though the final shot in the episode is Tyrion looking out and the White Walkers are in sight. It's the calm before the storm, and the scene where they are all gathered around the fire drinking, chatting and singing highlights that perfectly. There are a few comedic moments in this episode which I think work quite well. One would be when Tormund mentions about his encounter with giants and giant's milk. When timed right in the show, the moments do land extremely well. I think that the next episode will definitely be the one that we're waiting for, that's filled with action and the fighting that many people are craving. It's still a mystery as to how the show will end, and I feel as though it's going to be like that right up until the very end. I wouldn't necessarily say that this episode is better or worse than the first one. It follows the same sort of principles and structure to what the last one did. There's a few people reuniting with each other, and this time, a plan and preparation for battle has been put in place. The stories move forward and it's developed nicely. An empowering moment in this episode was when Brienne was knighted by Jaime and she officially became a knight. Something that she'd always wanted had been carried out, and it was nice to see on screen. It also completed the back and forth favours that Jaime and Brienne do for each other, which is something that I don't mind seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing Cersei's involvement in next week's episode, if she's in it, and seeing what's going to happen with Bronn being sent to kill Tyrion and Jaime. Will it happen, or will it not? And obviously the massive battle that's going to occur. Overall, I'd say that this second episode followed on from the first one nicely, and I can't wait to see what next week brings. Before you go, if you want to support the channel in a different way, then I've recently set up a Patreon. Over there, you can get your hands on some exclusive content that's just for you. Take a look and see what you think. What did you think of episode 2? Are you enjoying the final season so far? leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.